Welcome to CounterCultureWISE, a Stormcat production, with your hosts Melanie Hope and James Monis. The views expressed on this podcast are those of the hosts, our guests, and the dog, and do not necessarily reflect the views of any of our platforms, our advertisers, or any other dog.
As you listen today, please remember, we are so much more than a podcast. All of our stories we discuss are linked in our show notes on CounterCultureWISE.com. Visit there for commentary, guest photos and links, animations, and fun merchandise.
If you have a story idea or would like to be a guest on our show, contact us via our website. You can also follow us on Twitter, Gab, Instagram, Facebook, and all over social media, where we'll post memes, cat pics, and commentary that gets us booted off on a regular basis.
If you're watching our live show, hit like and join the chat. If you're listening dead, well, you can still hit like, share, subscribe, and comment, but please stop voting Democrat. And this time with the mics on, and after the meows us in, we start.
Again.
Because here at CounterCultureWISE, we are nothing if not professional. Well, hello, everybody. I am your hostess with the mostest, Ms. Melanie Hope, and I am here with our little squirrely friend right outside the window. So if you hear some scrabbling, there is indeed scrabbling going on. Off they go. And here I am, totally at a loss for what to say because I'm watching a squirrel. I am so ADD that I am literally squirrel right now.
This is your hostess with the mostest.
Ms. Melanie Hope.
Thank
That
you.
is me. Yes, sirree,
indeed.
Bob Barucci. That is indeed moi. And I am here with my right-hand man, my co-host, my very best friend, happens to be my husband, and my sweet babu, Mr. James Monis.
I wanted to say I actually talked to my dad, Jack, today.
You did? I love Jack. He's one of my favorite people.
I found out something interesting about him.
Okay.
He claims he can communicate with vegetables.
Well, that would explain why he's married to a Democrat.
Okay, that's better than anything I was going to say. You know, we'll just leave it alone.
So what's the actual joke?
Jack and the beans talk. See, but you know, I liked yours better. So,
yeah. I don't think his wife would appreciate that, though.
No, and if she
Not that
happens
she would,
to listen,
she would never listen to our podcast. That just would not be a thing in her world. Well, ladies and germs, have we got a show for you today? Oh, hot diggity doggy, do we have a show? But before we get started, drop everything!
Ouch.
One of these days, we're going to get you a helmet. Head on over to that like button and just give it a nice little massage. Just kind of, just rub in that nice smelly oil and get deep into the tissues and just massage that like button. Hit share, hit subscribe, hit all the things because you know you want to. And if you're listening on any other venue, do the same there. If you like what you hear, send us a note. Let us know. If you hate what you hear, head on over to counterculture. Boy, I'm doing good today. Head on over to counterculturewise.com and fill out the ID10T form. Let us know and tell us everything we did wrong. We will give it the attention that it deserves. And if you're listening over at Apple, where you can give us stars and whatnot, and you just really despise us, don't give us like a 1 or 2 star review because that's just, anybody can do that. Really, really hit home. And instead of giving us a 50,000 star review, just give us, 5. And that'll really just dig into us and hurt just enough.
That would hurt very badly.
We will change our ways. So, if you love us, give us, 200 billion stars. If you hate our guts, just 5, because that's like a 2-penny tip. That's about as mean as you can get.
Right.
Yeah. And please, for all that's holy, let us know why. Okay, got all that stuff out of the way.
Now we got something else to get out
Now
of the way.
we got something else to get out of the way. All right. We were actually going to watch this live and do a thing, but everybody watched it live and did the thing. And we actually found ourselves watching YouTube videos on low-carb cooking because we just couldn't bring ourselves to watch the darn thing. Just the opening alone, that woman was so insufferable and told so many lies. I was like, I can't do this.
Well, when you have your sorority sister and a sworn anti-Trumper as your moderators.
Well, two sworn anti-Trump. Yeah,
Right.
I mean, it was. So the Daily Wire folks, they're awesome, and they did this great compilation. I was going to put it together myself, but they just did it for us. So I'm going to give credit where credit's due, and let's just listen to some of the things she said. Before we go any further, winners, losers, I don't think anybody won per se. First of all, because there literally was not a debate. There was not a debate. There was insults.
It was 3-on-1, basically.
Yeah, everybody was saying that, but it was obvious. There were insults and there were lies, and then there was Trump just trying to defend himself from the insults and lies. And you have to give it to him. He didn't go low with her at all.
He could
which
have.
Probably was a good look for him. But then they're like, oh, he got mad. Oh, he got mad. Well, yeah, if you sat there and somebody literally just told lie after verifiably false, just conspiracy theories and hoaxes, and the so-called moderators were like, okay, and just let her get away with it. And then when he actually told verifiable truths, like about the crime rates and about the border, and they're all things that you can look up about the abortion thing, they're just like, well, actually, we talked to the city manager. Well, who gives a crap about the city manager? Or my favorite of the whole night was...
Obviously, we did see parts of it. We didn't watch the whole thing. But.
I didn't see your sarcasm. Well, honey, darling, faceless one, your opinion of whether you heard his sarcasm does not change the fact that he knows his brain better than you do. And how is the moderator's opinion even relevant?
Because it's ABC, a division of Disney, which is the most woke company in the entire
destroyed Disney. They've destroyed Disney.
It's the end of Walt Disney Productions. It's the end of 20th Century. It's the end of, all of these once great media companies. The ABC News is like a joke.
Yeah, it was.
It's a propaganda.
It actually
they're actually worse than CNN sometimes.
Yeah,
that's saying something.
It actually got to the point where I was embarrassed for her. That she would get up there and let's just look at some of these.
Yeah.
To desecrate our nation's capital on that day, 140 law enforcement officers were injured, and some died.
None died. 0. The only person who died that day was Ashley Babbitt, who was murdered in cold blood by a coward Keystone cop known for leaving his service weapon in public bathrooms.
Let's remember Charlottesville.
Yeah, let's remember Charlottesville, you lying piece of garbage. Even Snopes has debunked this.
Where there was a mob of people carrying tiki torches.
And if I were him, I would be laughing at her right now. Why didn't he call her on this? Because maybe he hadn't realized yet that the moderators weren't. Maybe he hadn't quite cottoned to the fact that nobody was on his side and nobody was going to be honest. Because this is the most heinous, disgusting, repugnant hoax. And the fact that there's anybody out there even pretending to believe it kind of churns my stomach. And for this duplicitous witch to flat out tell this hoax, knowing damn well it's a hoax.
Well,
she knows
there's a difference because when Basement Joe was running, you give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he's just befuddled and doesn't have his facts straight.
He's a tard, okay? So he. The thing is, Joe hasn't told the truth probably since the early 1970s, and maybe even not before then. And everybody knew that he was running on a hoax, and he just doubled and tripled and quadrupled down. Mm-hmm. But for her to know, even after Snopes has debunked it, far lefty, Soros-funded Snopes has finally had to say, yeah, okay, He literally says, I am not talking about the neo-Nazis and racists. Literally says it in the same sentence. And she puts this out. And so she's either evil or just too stupid to live.
It's kind of hard to tell.
It's really hard to tell.
Spewing anti-Semitic hate.
Yeah.
And what did the president then at the time say? There were fine people on each side.
You are
what
lying
you're going to hear
witch.
tonight is a detailed and dangerous plan called...
So notice the question was, do you believe Americans are better off economically than 4 years ago? Her answer is, I'm going to lie about Project 2025. Okay, except it doesn't even come close to even touching the question, which she never does the entire night. She
Well, of
never
course. Why would she
once.
answer hard questions like, why did you screw the economy up?
Yeah. It's a yes or no question, honey.
Project 2025 that the former president intends on implementing if he were elected again. And understand what has been happening under Donald Trump's abortion bans.
Donald Trump
Never banned abortion.
never banned abortion.
Not once.
In fact, he wasn't even in office when the Supreme Court finally and correctly judged on Roe, which was a travesty, garbage, and they shouldn't be making law from the Supreme Court anyway.
Right.
Kicked it back to the states where it belongs. So now what she's saying and what the Democrats are saying and all the baby-killing crazies out there who are, picketing the streets and trying to blame Trump for it, who, might I remind you, wasn't in office at the time, that, golly, we don't have federal government sanctioned baby murders. We can no longer worship Moloch with the blessing of the federal government. What they're saying is we want the president of the United States to be in charge of our uteruses. Isn't that the opposite of what they've all been whining about all this time?
Yeah.
It's literally the opposite.
Couples who pray and
that she invoked IVF just burns me. This man has done so much to help that and has done nothing but talk about how he wants folks to be able to have babies. That is all he's talked about. And for her to sit there and just fabricate to make this up is and not be fact checked on it. Not be fact checked on it. And for the CNN people to come out and say, oh, Trump told 43 lies and she only told one. You mean the entire thing she said throughout the entire, if you count that as one, like every single solitary syllable that came out of her mouth, if you count that as one lie, okay, I agree. But my God.
Dream of having a family are being denied IVF treatment.
No, they're not.
And as of today, there is not one member of the United States military who is in active duty in a combat zone in any war zone around the world. The first time this...
Okay, she must be talking about her VP pick, but I'm going to let the Marine have this one. So Biden says that no service members have been killed in the line of duty the entire time he was in office.
I can count to 12.
Yeah, me too. And, well, if he could stop checking his watch long enough to be reminded of that, that'd be great. And right now, we are in the middle of two hot wars. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, there are American boots on the ground in both. She is lying. And the other thing that was really interesting is whoever coached her is the same person who coached Hillary Clinton because she had the same faces. She had the same mannerisms. A lot of the time she had the same words.
She's just Hillary Jr., basically. Cackle and all.
She's slightly more attractive version of Hillary with her husband's every bit as much of a lech as Hillary's husband was. But at least as far as we know, Bill didn't actually knock up their nanny, but there's time.
We'll never know.
There's time. I don't think, Heels Up Harris's has been on the airplane that the Clintons have been on, but, well, who knows? I don't know.
Century.
Just good Lord.
Yeah.
That was just a few of the things. She told lie after lie after lie. She invoked the Fine People hoax. She invoked drink bleach. She brought that up. She just went down the list of hoaxes. It was embarrassing for her. I mean, I'm watching this and I'm literally embarrassed for her. It was that bad. And totally got away with it. And all mainstream media is like, oh, slay queen. Oh, it's like, oh, give me a friggin' break. It was ridiculous. Anyways, I think Biden pretty much said it all. So I gotta play this for you.
So what did Basement Joe do?
Oh, Basement Joe. We love our Basement Joe.
I'll give you my presidential hat. Presidential seal on it.
You want to autograph it?
This guy's trolling him so hard.
Yeah.
Remember your name?
Do you remember your
I
name?
remember my name. I'm slow.
You're an old part. You're an old part.
Yeah, I know, man. I'm an old guy.
And you're an old part, right?
I know you would know about that.
What?
About being old.
Oh, I know.
There you go, man. I need.
I mean, I have to hand it to him. He did give it back to him.
Want my autograph?
Hell no.
I don't want your
You
autograph.
know my name. Come on.
I ain't going that far.
Yeah.
But then he does.
Selfie. There you go.
There you go. Biden wearing a Trump hat.
I think he
No,
knew
he
it.
takes
I
it
think
one
he-
step further, though.
I'm proud of you now.
I'm proud of you now.
Just remember, no eating dogs and cats.
No eating dogs and cats. No eating dogs and cats.
No, he's,
I know
He's
he was.
all right. He's
I know
all
he
right.
was. No, I'm not gonna even pretend like he is nothing more than a lying, conniving
Right,
rat
right,
bastard.
yeah.
I don't know how much of that was dementia and how much of that was just a big F you to the Democrats.
I mean, yeah, he doesn't have
But
much
what's
to
even
lose
funnier though
anymore.
is he literally steals the hat. He walks away with the hat and doesn't give it back to the dude.
That's hilarious.
Well, I want to know if right now, if he's wearing it in bed with Jill.
I don't want to think about those kinds of things.
Oh, Joe, you answered all the questions. Oh, you're such a good Joe. Wear the hat.
Bleh.
Such a good boy, Joey. Such a good boy.
Oh, my sakes.
Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. Okay, well, we're going to have about that much fun, if not more, for the rest of the show. But that is all I'm going to talk about with the debate, because I literally get infuriated. Just, I've seen bits and pieces here and there, but I've pretty much seen the whole thing. You can only watch it in fits and spurts, though, because she lies so much, and those so-called quote-unquote moderators were so much on her side. I mean, they're not even trying to hide it.
No.
They're not even interested in making it look as if they were professionals in any way. It was embarrassing for her. And the reason I say that is because it depicted her as so inept and such a scared, trembling little girl who cannot carry her own water, that the idea of her being in charge of a flea circus, much less the United States of America, is laughable. And she did that to herself. She did that to herself. So what does that say about her? I mean, the people around her who are doing this for her sake are pretty disgusting. But the fact that she has so little faith in her own abilities that she was willing to let them do this, I'm just going to leave that there.
Yeah.
Even she doesn't want to vote for herself. So there you go.
Yeah, I go.
Just there you go. But I have to hand it to her, though. She managed to hold back the cackling until afterwards. And then the cackling ensued.
If we're looking at a pure performance standpoint, she did better than everybody thought she would.
Yeah, she memorized her lines very well, which is something that Biden could not do. Now,
You read your lines so cleverly and never missed a cue.
And you were so good, Joe. You answered all the questions. So she's good at memorizing things. It was interesting to actually see her attempt to speak off of a teleprompter, but really all she did was pivot to her rehearsed lines. Mm-hmm. It was just an acting gig for her. Trump, there were moments that I was literally screaming at the screen, why don't you stand up for yourself? Mm-hmm. Why don't you answer this? Why are you letting her get away with this? Why are you talking about things we don't care about? Why aren't you directly addressing the absolute sheer lies that she's looking you in the face and saying, just like when she, oh, Joe, I was that girl who was bust. No, you weren't. You were an upper middle class rich bitch who grew up in a nice area, first in Canada, then in California. You did not celebrate Kwanzaa because your mama wasn't black, your daddy wasn't around. And, you know, all this stuff, and you never raised your little fist and said freedom. None of that happened. None of that's real. This Kamala person is not real. And by the way, she called herself Kamala for many, many years. She's on video doing it, so she doesn't even know how to pronounce her own name, which, by the way, is an Indian name, and she's pronouncing it incorrectly now because she tried to make it sound more black. Take that to the bank. I love the questions they came up with, though. Oh, mean old Trump said something mean about you. How does that make you feel? That is not a debate question. A debate question is, look, lady, you're in office right now, and you're making big promises about how you're going to do things differently than this awful current administration is doing. Can we talk about your circular logic just a wee? No real questions at all. Not a single real question. And the one and only real question they did ask her, I was born a poor black child. I was raised in the project. She just made a bunch of crap up and didn't answer the question. And then what you're going to see now is him talking about Project 2020. No, he's not going to talk about it because it has nothing to do with him. And it's like, even people who hate Trump, because Trump cracks me up. I think he's the best troll like ever in the history of ever. I think he's hilarious in that respect. But he ticks me off more often than I'm on his side. Because, like we saw this, he didn't defend himself. He didn't correct her. He let her get away with that. The moderators were practically just moderators.
Same thing.
Her cheerleaders were, you know, they might as well have not even been there. They were useless. Other than just serving her softball after softball and then carrying her water for her. It was, like I said, it was embarrassing for her. I said, we're not going to talk about it anymore. Okay.
You did.
I did. Let's talk about something sad. I mean, the dude was like a bajillion.
Yeah.
And he lived a really good life, and he will forever go down as an icon.
The voice.
The voice.
The voice of Darth Vader, the voice of CNN, a fantastic actor who won Tony, Emmy, Emmy, Oscar.
Are you sure he never won a Grammy? Because if he ever did like a spoken word album.
Maybe he did. I don't know.
We'll have to check that out. Because if
he won a
Shatner
lot
can
of
win
awards.
one. I don't think Shatner won one.
No.
But
I won an award? No,
why didn't anyone tell me?
Poor guy. Actually, they're a very rich guy. They're a very wonderful guy.
He makes fun of himself, too.
Yeah, well, it's helped. It's helped. But anyway, James Earl Jones, just an iconic actor.
Mufasa. You forgot Mufasa.
Mufasa in The Lion King. Multiple TV shows, multiple movies, including several of my favorites, of course, the Star Wars, the original trilogy, the original release.
The ones that matter.
And Dr. Strangelove. It was his very first movie.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it was his first film appearance.
I'll be darned.
Yeah. And, countless others just...
We have a Dr. Strangelove design in our store.
Yes, we do.
Max riding the rocket.
With a cowboy hat and all, just like Slim Pickens.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's and I'm not sad about his passing because, like you said, he was in his 90s.
Yeah. It's just the end of an era,
Yeah.
Say goodbye to Dr. Ruth and James Earl Jones and, all these people that you just grew up thinking that they would never grow old, but they already were old when we were younger. And now we're watching them. It's tough. It's tough. I mean, we're at the age now where we're, some of our friends are
He was 6'2",
out.
so he also had a very large presence. He was 93. But let's see.
It's a good run.
The Lion King, Cry the Beloved Country, Field of Dreams, The Great White Hope.
Oh, that's right. He was in Field of Dreams.
Yeah.
Totally forgot about that.
He was in the play Fences. Yeah, just amazing actor with a heck of a career. So, thank you. You will be missed. We love your work.
We do, and he will live on in many ways. In
Disney
fact,
legend.
our very first video that we ever did as a podcast, back when we were just an audio presence.
I made a very poor attempt at sounding like James Earl Jones.
You did,
but
and I made a very poor attempt at drawing. It's pretty embarrassing, but we thought in celebration of James Earl Jones, this is not only our very first attempt, but also on BitChute, our most watched video, which is kind of funny considering just how terrible it is. Enjoy.
This is CNN, the Cook News Network.
Welcome to Cooks Today. I'm your host, Don Lyingman. As always, during this time slot, we take a brief break from our round-the-clock Trump bashing to discuss this exciting trend of cooks coming out of the closet. Is it okay for me to say it that way, Monica?
Too late to take it back now, Dan.
I guess you're right, Monica. Anyway, for today's episode, we take you to Tillamook, Oregon, and CNN correspondent Christiane Manamana. Take it away, Christiane.
In this coastal town known for its dairy products, Bob and Susie Kimchi have been living together for 7 years and married for 5. Things were as sweet as Rocky Road ice cream until 6 months ago when Susie proposed something that could have curdled the whole affair.
I just wasn't feeling fulfilled by Bob alone. I love him dearly, but something was missing. Then one day while I was working at the cheese factory, they brought in a new slicer, Jean-Claude.
Susie, don't they have machines to do that?
Bob, be nice in front of the news people. Anyway, I found myself so attracted to him and knew that I wanted a sample of his mimolette. So I told Bob what I wanted.
I wasn't crazy about the idea. I'm still not. Susie, we really need...
Now, what did I tell you about this arrangement, Bob?
CNN said it was okay.
And who is the most trusted news network?
CNN.
Good. Now, where was I? Oh, yeah. I started seeing Jean-Claude after only a few days. It was magnifique. His lovemaking was so formidable.
Cut that out. You know I can't speak French.
Well, after a while, once every few days wasn't enough. He needed a place to stay, and we have a spare bedroom, so I invited him to live with us. Isn't that right, Jean-Claude, honey?
Oui, and since mon chéri Susie has come into my life, I have found the true happiness that I thought I never would have.
Yes, I am so glad that I found happiness, too.
Damn it, you two. I'm the one married to her, and I'm the owner of the house. Why in the hell am I the one using the spare bedroom?
C'est la vie, mon ami.
Stop talking French, you jerk.
Hush, Bob.
Another modern romance success story, Don. This is Cucks Today, and I'm Christiane Manana. We'll be back tomorrow. Thanks for watching CNN, the Cuckold News Network.
I think my favorite part about that is the cows mooing in the background.
Other than the cows mooing, that was our voices.
Yeah.
Moderated.
Yep.
Yeah.
And in case you're wondering what spawned that, it is literally based on a true story run by CNN. I actually pulled this so that we could be reminded of what this was, because we riffed on this for some time. So this is clear back in 2018. Cuckolding can be positive for some couples, study says. I don't want to go too deep into it because we did way back then. But yeah, apparently CNN felt that that is a good thing for married people to engage in. And we're like, okay, we've got to riff on this. We got to do a spoof. So that was CounterCultureWISE's very first spoof and very first video.
And I think it's funny. Melanie criticizes the animation, and it's primitive, but I think that's part of the charm of this particular one. I do.
I appreciate that you appreciate the charm, because it is kind of embarrassing. I'm not going to lie. It's pretty embarrassing. I just realized I could actually show this on the screen.
And there it is.
Yep, and there it is.
For all to see.
So it's a real thing. It was a real article that cuckolding fantasies can be largely positive experience. I cannot think of an actual, like a real man that would think of that as a positive experience. And
no, that we don't. Real men aren't wired to think like that.
No, and I mean the word cuck has a negative connotation for obvious reasons. It's a terrible thing to do to a man, and it's actually a terrible thing to do to yourself as a woman. I mean, cheapening you down to that point. You know, I just can't believe this article. Yes, I can. I can believe this article ran. Anyways, that was our very first video ever.
And now, Melanie gets a chance to rant. Actually, I might be the one ranting over this.
You might be ranting.
Yeah.
Well, you are the veteran, so I say this. This should probably go to you.
I haven't really read this yet. This will be my first time during the show. We're going to read it. All right. A basic summary of Americans' contempt for their repellent ruling class boils down to 3 sentences. Now, this is obviously not a fair and balanced. This is a Western journal which leans to the right, but I'm going to go ahead and read this. Establishment politicians and other regime operatives view everything through the lens of power. They never assume any responsibility. They never suffer any consequences for their failures. On Wednesday, the 23rd anniversary of the September 11th terrorist attack against the United States, White House National Security Council Communications Advisor John Kirby demonstrated the mind of a well-placed regime toady when he accidentally included Fox News in a reply-all email chain that featured a message dismissive of what he called a handful of events.
Did I do that?
Critical of President Joe Biden's botched 2021 Afghanistan withdrawal. Obviously, no use in responding. A handful of vets indeed, and all of one stripe, Kirby wrote. In other words, Kirby apparently believes that he may safely ignore the concerns of veterans who disagree with him. Furthermore, he told White House staffers that they should do likewise. The incident originated in an email inquiry from Fox News. That inquiry included quotes from 4 veterans who offered scathing criticisms of the 2021 Afghanistan debacle. White House staffers on the National Security Council received the inquiry via forwarding. Then Kirby responded with a dismissive message intended for those staffers only, but genius that he is, he hit reply all, which meant that Fox News, the original sender, also received his message. Clearly, I didn't realize you were on the chain, Kirby later wrote in a follow-up email to a Fox News reporter.
Whoopsie.
Too late, of course, for we now know what the communications advisor, who's not very well good at communicating, really thinks. The veterans quoted in the original Fox News inquiry were Republican Representative Corey Mills of Florida, Mark Geist, an author, Marine veteran, and member of the security team that fought in the 2012 Battle of Benghazi.
Thanks for that, Hillary.
Stuart Scheller, an author and former Marine court-martial for publicly criticizing U.S. military leadership over the Afghanistan withdrawal. I remember him. And Chad Robichaud, a former Force Recon Marine who served in Afghanistan. Earlier this week, Republican Representative Mike McCall of Texas, chair of the House Foreign Affairs Committee, released a report criticizing the Biden administration both for the Afghanistan withdrawal itself and for subsequent attempts to deflect responsibility. Then at a White House press conference on Monday, Kirby, with shocking chutzpah, tried to blame former President Donald Trump. Geist describes Kirby's performance at the press conference as that of a dishonest warmonger, in other words, a Democrat. In the press conference, John Kirby delivered a one-sided presentation of facts and falsehoods regarding the recent House report on Afghanistan. I'll start with where Mr. Kirby finished, which was likely the only thing he said that was completely true. They pulled out of Afghanistan because they wanted to start and fund the war in Ukraine, fully aware that the American people would not tolerate being involved in 2 wars again, Geist said. Scheller spoke to what one could only describe as Kirby's cravenness. I am proud that I identified the mistakes and poor planning in real time. It still pains me that it cost my career. John Kirby, a former Navy admiral, let me say
Admirable?
Blah, blah.
Admirable?
I got trouble with words.
Yeah.
John Kirby,
you're doing as good as I was.
a former Navy admiral, and I'm not even drinking, represents the morally weak military officer class willing to parrot narratives for individual advancement. These politicians in uniform demonstrate time and time again that they are terrified of honest assessments of failure, Scheller said. Meanwhile, Robichaud identified both the administration's failure and its consequences. The fact is that Biden and Harris chose to go against the advice of their Joint Chiefs, military and intelligence advisors, abandoning Afghanistan and giving up the most strategic military stronghold on the global landscape.
And before
Bagram
people
Air Base.
start saying about the whole, oh, Harris wasn't president, she has said multiple times on record, I'm the last one in the room. So yes, it is on her.
It's on her too. Bagram Air Base, which sits between Iraq, Iran, Russia, and China. Worse, they did so before evacuating Americans or our allies. We left behind 20 million women and girls to be sexually enslaved. We left billions of dollars in sensitive equipment and technology, Robichaud said in part. They wanted to pivot to Ukraine. They lie in the service of their own careers, and they abandoned millions of Afghan females to sexual enslavement. These are among the criticisms to which Kirby wrote, no use in responding. Retired Rear Admiral Kirby's comments are appalling.
No use in responding.
Yeah, but sadly not surprising. Wow. The Biden-Harris administration has consistently disregarded our veterans, service members, and Gold Star families over their botched withdrawal from Afghanistan, McCall wrote in a message that the House Foreign Affairs Committee majority posted Wednesday to X. The irony, of course, is that an admission of catastrophic failure on the part of Kirby and the Biden administration, followed by a public request for forgiveness from the families of service members killed during the botched Afghanistan withdrawal, would have elevated those White House officials in the estimation of ordinary Americans. Indeed, we are so unaccustomed to accountability that a gesture of that kind would have distinguished those officials from the rest of the repellent ruling class. It did not happen, of course, and it never will as long as we allow them to continue getting away with prioritizing politics and power. I don't really have much to add. That was the turning point for me. I had goodwill towards Biden and kept hoping that he would do a good job.
Yeah, we literally prayed over the man, knowing that he was going to be an unmitigated disaster, but praying that, he would come through anyway. And
I want the best for America.
We wanted him to succeed because we want the country to succeed. And, I guess that wasn't God's will at that point. But I don't think people understand that Christians don't pray against their leaders because they want leaders to be good leaders.
The Bible says to respect your leaders because it is God's will that they are there.
And
sometimes that's hard to swallow.
It is really hard to swallow because he is not a respectable human being, and she certainly is not. Okay? If she were to get basically, she's already been installed, let's face it. She's already been installed.
Well,
when they plug her in like the cheap toilet that she is, I'm not going to pray against her. That'd be stupid. Right now, I'm praying that she doesn't and that, we actually do get to vote and all that stuff. I do not wish harm on her. And I certainly wouldn't want her to fail as a president because I want the country to succeed. Now, you cannot say that about the other side.
No, they think of Trump as an agent of Satan or whatever
they don't even believe it. They don't believe in God. They can't believe in Satan.
I'm just saying whatever the equivalent is in their crazy little minds.
Yeah.
A handful of vets. That's
handful
great.
Of vets. Well, vets. God forbid.
Have a handful of this, Kirby.
Yeah.
Anyway, oops. We're done. Moving on.
Moving along.
We promised positive things.
We
so
did, and we
now we're
have
gonna
some
rock
fun
this.
stories. So let's head on into some fun, not so harsh stories, because you don't want to listen to us rant all night.
No.
CounterCultureWISE is proud to present News of the Weird and Wonderful. Here are your hosts, Melanie Hope and Jim Monis.
This first one reminded me of my baby brother so much, and I miss him so much.
If you're out there, Paul, and I know you're out there.
If you're out there, I know you don't listen to these. I actually shared this story with him, though. So, the earliest known Pikachu card is at Sotheby's Holy Grail auction. And wow, is that really what it looked like?
That's what it looked like. Primitive.
Very primitive.
Primitive.
They've come a long way.
Definitely.
They've come a long
Sotheby's,
way.
the auctioneer of ludicrously expensive objects and art, is partnering up with Fanatics, an online sports apparel retailer. They're huge, for a one-of-a-kind auction. The highest bidders will walk away with 40 of some of the most important and most wildly expensive sports cards in existence. They're calling it the Holy Grail's Trading Card Auction.
Oh, wow. So they're putting them all together?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
A fitting name given some of the incredibly rare cards involved. Live auction is scheduled for September 23rd and 24th in New York, or you can bid online. Oh, darn. We have to pay the rent. So up for grabs is a 1948 Leaf Jackie Robinson card that's like a bubblegum card. Estimated,
even I know what that is.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
Estimated to be worth somewhere between $275,000 and $350,000.
Dang.
There is the 2005-2006 card autographed by both Michael Jordan and Julius Erving that is currently valued at over $1 million. There is a 1955 Topps Roberto Clemente rookie card worth between $800,000 and $1 million. A 2000 playoff Contenders Tom Brady rookie card is considered one of, if not the most important football card of all time. It's estimated to sell for somewhere between $100,000 and $130,000. And that's before you get to the Pokemon. The auction also includes a Japanese Alpha prototype card dating back to 1995, which was developed to show the idea of Pokemon to company executives. So it wasn't fully developed, it was a prototype. Okay, that explains it. They're calling it arguably the rarest, most historically important Pikachu card on the planet. There's a pristine first edition base set Charizard Holo card, and there's a base set of 1999 Disco Holo square cut test prints. Each of those is estimated to go for up to $500,000.
Dang.
The auction ties into a new platform called Fanatics Collect, essentially eBay for rare and ultra-expensive sports collectibles. Like eBay, it will have fixed price sales and auction formats. For the auction part of it, they're bringing in the world-renowned Sotheby's to ensure things go smoothly. All of the cards mentioned have been properly sealed within protective casings and have been graded by experts. Considering how much these things go for, you might want to look through the sports card collection you've got sitting in your parents' attic, just in case you have any of these small fortunes lying around. You know,
I think everybody fantasizes about that.
Without ever watching baseball when I was a kid, I had a... this was in the early 70s, a stack of baseball cards about yay big.
Okay, he's holding about 2 feet tall.
Yeah. And
he's all yay bigging on
I'm all yay bigging, but I would imagine I had some valuable cards back then. I did not realize it.
Probably. I think of Paul donating all of his Lego and how much those things are worth now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like we don't realize what we have until
the Roadrunner thermos lunchbox I took to kindergarten with me. I see this rusty crap old version of it from about the same time.
Yeah,
because they grow old and oxidize. A lot of money.
Yeah, a lot of money.
Especially if it includes the thermos with, the cup and everything.
Yeah, I think about my Charlie Brown lunchbox that I had with the plastic thermos and the whole bit. And
yeah, I'm old. Mine was metal with the glass insert.
I'm just old enough that I got the Tupperware lunchbox that had all the perfectly shaped little containers that all fit in there. Just you had the sandwich, and then you had the thing that usually would have grapes in it, and then you had the little cup for salty snacks, and then you had the cup for a beverage of some sort. And they all fit in there just perfect, and then you put the little lid on, and then you fold over the little doohickeys, and that was a big deal back then.
I'm just curious.
And so I was, you're looking it up?
I'm looking up, no thermos, $55.
Oh, okay, that's not a billion, that's not a lot.
Lunchbox only $50. There's one selling for $124. I don't know what makes that one so much better than the others.
I don't know, I think on eBay it's like what they can get for it.
Yeah.
I was looking up Trumpy Bears, and they're selling anywhere from a couple hundred to
that's
a
what my
grand.
thermos looked like.
Yes, okay. Nobody can see your thermos,
I know,
Jim.
I'm showing you. I'm not showing them. It was yay big. Anyway, moving on.
I could have looked it up on this screen, I suppose.
Yeah, well.
Okay. Don't you hate it when you're stuck in a traffic jam?
So last week we talked about two different accidents. One of them was chili peppers. I forget what the other one was. Was bananas or something?
It was chili peppers and fruit of some sort. I can't remember what it was.
This week it's grapes.
It's grape.
And it's California Jam 3.
Is this in California? Yep.
Yeah,
Section of Highway 165 was closed in Merced County, California, after a crash caused a truck to lose its load of grapes into the roadway. Why are these trucks crashing? Oh, I wonder if there's DEI hiring happening now in the trucking industry.
It's sad that we assume that every time something goes awry.
And usually we're right. Commuters on the California highway were given ample reason to whine when a semi crash caused the roadway to become covered in crushed grapes. What a waste. The California Highway Patrol said a crash involving two semis and a pickup truck. Holy smokes! That's a heck of a crash. Caused one of the big rigs to spill its load of grapes on Highway 165 north of Bradway Road in Merced County around 11:35. I'm saying it wrong every time on purpose. The grapes were soon crushed by passing vehicles, creating a slippery mess across the roadway. The highway was closed in both directions for grapes. Okay.
Because it made the ground sticky.
Yeah. Well, then you would think it wouldn't be slippery if it was sticky. That'd be better traction, right?
I don't know.
And you know what happened is you had a whole bunch of Californians out there on their hands and knees trying to suck up the wine is what happened.
Yeah.
Anyways, crews worked to clear the wreckage and spilled fruit. No injuries reported, thank goodness. But alcohol was not believed to be a factor.
It will be now.
A pickup truck and two semis. I'm glad there were no injuries because that could have been really bad. Really bad. Bad.
And now, something truly fun.
This is fun.
Now, we all know about the Nobel Prize, but there is a lesser-known prize that comes out every year, and this one's called the Ig Nobel Prize. Ig Nobel, get it? This comes from the Journal of Improbable Research.
I love it.
And they announced this year's Ig Nobel Prize winner, including a team who researched mammals that breathe through their butts.
What?
The 34th annual, we'll get to that, Ig Nobel Prize ceremony. I
thought blowholes were funny, but this is taking it to the next level.
34th annual Ig Nobel Prize ceremony, a tongue-in-cheek celebration of unusual scientific achievements, was held last Thursday at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, where my dad went. This ceremony, inspired by, not affiliated with, the Nobel Prizes, was held in person and are being held virtually for the past 3 years. 10 prizes were awarded at the ceremony, which was also live-streamed on YouTube. This year's Peace Prize was posthumous after he was dead, folks, awarded to B.F. Skinner for his 1960 research into whether live pigeons could be housed inside missiles to guide their flight paths.
Boy, he was a piece of work, wasn't he?
The Botany Prize went to Jacob White, yes, he was, and Felipe Yamashita for finding evidence that some real plants imitate the shapes of neighboring artificial plastic plants. The Anatomy Prize went to a team of scientists from France and Chile for studying whether the hair on the heads of most people in the northern hemisphere swirls in the same direction, clockwise or counterclockwise, as hair on the heads of most people in the southern hemisphere. This year's Medicine Prize went to Levin A. Schenk, Tamine Fadai, and Christian Buchel for demonstrating that fake medicine that causes painful side effects can be more effective than fake medicine that does not cause painful side effects. I don't know. The Ig Nobel Physics Prize was presented to James C. Liao, no relation, for his research into the swimming.
Well, obviously.
For his research into the swimming abilities of a deceased trout.
What?
The Physiology Prize was presented to a team of U.S. and Japanese researchers for discovering that many mammals are capable of breathing through their anus. The Probability Prize went to universally blah, blah, blah. The U of Amsterdam researcher František Bartoš and his team for studying the results of 350,757 coin flips and determining coins are slightly more likely to land on the same side they started from.
Okay, but how slightly? Are we talking 51% or 50.2%?
This article is a summary. It doesn't have all the little details.
I have questions.
Go to Radio Shack. They have answers. The Chemistry Prize went to Tess Harrimans, Antoine Deblay, Daniel Bond, and Sandra Wurson for using chromatography to separate drunk and sober worms.
I bet you every stinking one of these were funded by taxpayers. What do you bet?
Saul Justin Newman, what kind of after all this Berkel von Hinkerstockel stuff, Saul Justin Newman was awarded the Demography Prize for his research finding that many of the people famous for having the longest lives lived in places that had lousy birth and death record keeping. That's my favorite one so far.
Oh, that's hilarious.
The final award, the Biology Prize, was given to Fordyce Eli and William E. Peterson for their 1941 research that involved exploding a paper bag next to a cat that's standing on the back of a cow to explore how and when cows spew their milk.
I'm sorry, what? Okay, I have questions. Seriously, I'm looking this one up right now. You vamp.
Vamp.
This is
folks.
Is this a thing?
It's a thing. I mean, there was
cattle rustling research.
There was the article that I originally put up that probably has all the details.
How do cat-cow posse stretch the muscles in your back? Okay, I can't find anything. Tummy truck troubles. Cows drink milk straight from cow udder. An adorable clip.
While she's looking,
yeah,
folks,
it's not out
we
there.
Appreciate your support. If you love our show as much as we do, please,
or even half as much as we do,
please send us money. Please. Buy our stuff. We got new designs.
We got new designs. We always have new designs. In fact, what you saw on the thumbnail will soon be available in the show, as well as the ultra super.
Infamous,
not just the ultra, not just the super, but the nuclear MAGA.
Yes. And also,
and of course, it's okay to be orange, which.
And of course, Max's famous ride on the bomb we talked about earlier.
Yes.
But yeah, there was the I originally had the website up that had the awards, so if you could look that up, we could find the actual.
Is it details. In our notes?
No, I removed it and put the other one in.
Ew.
No.
We'll worry about that. I think
we'll just take our word for it.
I think the synopsis was worth its weight in gold already.
Is good enough. Yeah.
Yes.
So I just found out some very interesting stuff. Now I'm a forgetful guy.
You are a forgetful guy. I'll hand it to you.
I'm a very forgetful guy, but
yes.
I have never forgotten a tire in a hotel room.
Why would you have a tire a tire as in the clothing you wear?
No, a tire as in a Goodyear radial.
But why? Why would you have that in your hotel room?
Uniroyal Tiger Paw. You get the idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So Hotel Room Insights report, spelled with 2 N's, cute. Hotels.com pulls back the covers. Also cute, on the surprising world of hotels. Okay, well, if it's going to be punny as this throughout. Lost and found pet lizard. $6 million watch and car tire are some of the weirdest things. Okay. Room service. Now, do I read those separately or do I, because I don't want to give it away.
You can just...
Today, Hotels.com launches its annual Hotel Room Insights report, uncovering surprising services and stories from more than 400 partner hotels worldwide. This year's report reveals the astonishing items left behind by guests. I think the worst thing we've ever left behind is a pillow.
Yeah.
Wildest room service orders,
Which
hidden
we got
hotel
back.
perks, and yes, out of this world services accommodating travelers today. When Mom went to Vegas, though, she did not get her pillow back, and she went to her grave shaking her fist at the Excalibur for eating her pillow.
Well, that's what she kind of gets for insisting on the Excalibur in the
really
first
did,
place.
yes.
That's kind of the
Well, she had just written a medieval
the slum of the Las
historical
Vegas Strip,
fiction
really.
book, so she had this idea that, it was medieval, and we went to medieval times.
Well,
and it was
yeah,
a whole
I mean,
thing.
in medieval times, we
That
lived
was
there
fun.
we lived
That
there
was
for
fun.
a decade. I never went. I had my friend Paul Gunn. You remember him?
Mm-hmm.
He was in the show.
Oh, Paul. You're welcome on this show
He's
anytime,
he's
Paul.
A hunk. He's a hunk.
Oh, he's a hunk.
And he
Yeah.
and his girlfriend
He does well
are
for
the
himself.
best looking couples in
Yeah, they are
Vegas
pretty
or LA. I
people.
think they went to LA, but anyway.
Very pretty people.
Yes.
Melanie Fish, Vice President of Global, I get to say my own name, Global Public Relations at Hotels.com said, at Hotels.com, we know hotels inside and out. It's in our name. By asking hotels to reveal the secrets behind their most memorable stays, we discovered that these insights have actually inspired services available to guests today. From guitar concierge to pet healers, hotels are catering to travelers' unique demands, which may well become the norm. And then, of course, they go on to talk about their app. Okay. The report shows the most common forgotten items are dirty laundry, device chargers. I bet you device chargers is like number one because we have been known
We
to
always do that.
And makeup and toiletries. But this year's insights reveal a new list of forgotten items not for the faint-hearted. So the most expensive one, a Rolex. A Birkin bag and a $6 million watch. That apparently wasn't the Rolex. So
No, this is different. Rolexes are only about $2,000 to $10,000.
Oh, okay.
And by the way, for those of you who think, oh, come on, what's the difference between a Rolex and a Timex? I'm only going to say
Not a clue.
I put one on once.
Not a clue.
Once you've put one on, you know.
Yeah.
It's like the first time I picked up a replica, not an original, but a replica of a 1959 Gibson Les Paul.
Mm-hmm.
It does
I think
something
that's
to you.
because you're impressionable, though.
No.
I think it's more of a mental thing. I really do.
Still, it just felt different vibrationally, if that means anything.
Because
anymore.
I've driven like top of the line Tesla, and we currently drive bottom of the line Kia, and
I do happen to think, with all due respect to Elon Musk, that Teslas are overrated.
You think so?
And the way they treated you at the dealership was
Okay.
less than ideal.
Yeah, the salesperson was, let's just say, he got shot. Oh, did I have fun writing that report? All right, heading on in. They call it pet peeves. A chick, as in peep, 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 and a pet lizard were found and thankfully returned after the owner checked out. Who leaves behind their lizard?
Who brings a lizard?
That's why you blacklight your bedding, folks. Guests forgot 2 full leg casts, and 10% of hotels reported that guests left behind their dentures. Okay. It seems that that would be one of those hotels that doesn't offer the continental breakfast, or they would know before they got to the car. Items include a rice cooker, car tire, blender, and construction pipes. That is some weirdness.
That
right
is some
there.
rando. That is some serious rando.
The tire is... I can understand toiletries, jewelry, chargers.
Yeah, that's everyday crap.
Even the dentures I kind of almost sort of understand, but you'd have to assume that they didn't eat breakfast and then they got to Denny's and went, oh, crap! Or, they were just Nancy Pelosi. But, ooh. So they go on to tell you about how hotels are adapting to returning these items, which is nice, because before it was just they put it in a box behind the register. Hotel staff have gone to the extreme to reunite guests with their possessions. Before, it used to be we'd give them 30 days, and then we got to pick through the box and got to keep whatever was in there.
Way back when you worked there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, oh my, one hotel hero drove 100 miles to return a passport. They could have just mailed it. Another ran several blocks to deliver items before a cruise ship departed. And another took a shopping trip to replace a lost teddy bear for a young traveler and included a book detailing the bear's adventure. That's
sweet.
Adorable.
You know, the parents are never going to go to any other hotel chain.
That is how you create lifelong customers, folks. Room service when guests turn ordering off menu into an art form. Gone are the days of ordering a classic club sandwich to the room for this. Oh, man, I used to love getting club sandwiches or eggs Benedict when I was traveling a lot. Mm-hmm. Those were my go-tos. Yeah, for the second year in a row, Hotels.com is revealing the most peculiar room service orders and services. The most head-scratching requests include an Evian-filled bathtub so a child can bathe in the purest water. Yeah. Customized allergen menu for their pet. Gluten-free, dairy-free, etc., etc. I think I know the TikToker that ordered that. Burnt toast. What can I say? Some people like the taste of burnt. A caviar hot dog? Huh? Talk about pearls before swine. Fresh goat milk. Nah, I don't find that as being weird. 4 pounds of bananas.
Yum.
I'm pretty sure that was Michael Jackson because he actually had a high five from a team member to ensure their room service request was read. I don't find that unreasonable at all.
No, that's like the Van Halen green M&Ms thing.
Yeah.
Just to make sure they actually read what.
Yeah, just to
You know,
So they are adapting to these increasingly odd room requests. Whatever, whenever button for guests to order anything, anytime. Of course, these are the much higher end places.
Yeah, these are the $1,000 a night places.
Yeah, places that we will never stay.
No, we don't know that. I don't know. That place we stayed at in Vegas was pretty close.
That was pretty nice.
Pretty close.
Yeah, we didn't get room service, though. Didn't even get turned down service or changing or anything. Although we had a washer and dryer. That was pretty cool.
Nice.
That was pretty cool.
That wasn't.
that was awesome. Yeah. So. Well, folks, we are 1 hour in the show, which means, whoa, we're halfway there.
That's a great segue into our next story.
Thank you. And apparently, living on a prayer.
This guy is more than a guitar hero.
Did he play guitar?
I don't know.
All I know is he aged really well. So
who are we talking about,
We
Melanie
are talking about the legendary John Bon Jovi. And if you have a name like Van Halen or Bon Jovi, you kind of have to have a band. You just do.
There's that.
In a heart-stopping moment that could have ended in tragedy, rock legend John Bon Jovi became a real-life hero in Nashville. The singer was in town filming a music video when an unexpected event unfolded. Around 6 p.m. on the not even going to try that one.
Siegenthaler?
Huh?
Siegenthaler?
Gesundheit. Pedestrian bridge, Bon Jovi encountered a distressed woman who appeared to be preparing to jump. Some pedestrian bridge that is, if you can jump off of it. Surveillance footage from the Metropolitan Nashville Police Department captured the tense encounter. A shout out to John Bon Jovi and his team for helping a woman on that bridge, the department wrote. Bon Jovi helped persuade her to come off the ledge over the Cumberland River to safety. All I'm saying is if I was getting ready to off myself and hot as hell, Bon Jovi walked up to me and said, "Hey, you have something to live for," I'd be like, okay.
Can I have some concert tickets? Okay, I'll stay or I'll stick around.
In the video, John Bon Jovi is seen calmly approaching the woman, speaking to her as she stood on the ledge of the bridge. Shortly after, John Bon Jovi, along with a fellow Good Samaritan, carefully helped lift the woman over the railing, bringing her to safety and away from harm. With the immediate danger behind them, Bon Jovi embraced her in a heartfelt hug, offering comfort and reassurance in the emotional moment. Emergency personnel from the Nashville Fire Department and Metropolitan Nashville Police Department arrived shortly afterward to provide assistance to ensure the woman's well-being. I went ahead.
Thank you so much, Mr. Bon Jovi.
I went ahead and got that video. If you want to see it.
Yes.
There's no sound, but you can see he's leaning in there. This woman, whoever she is, obviously knew what she's doing. Then they help her back over the other side of the bridge and get her to safety, and he gives her a hug. That would be enough to sustain a lot of people through their depression. I can't help but think, if I were in that situation, being hugged by Bon Jovi.
Well, beyond that, just somebody who actually really cared.
Yeah.
So
well, and that's the thing, is he could have just sent a minion out. He could have ignored it, or he could have just called the cops on her. But instead, he himself did that. That was a truly decent thing to do. And it's just nice to see that there is still decency out there when you're,
in a world where it's...
in a world. So, okay, this next one is really fun.
This is a lot of fun. I find the first day of school pictures to be a bit cliche, but this one is quite different.
Yeah.
Michelle Owen, and I'm not to take away. I know that parents are proud of their kids, and
well, right, and every it's a rite of passage.
But
it's not something we did.
No.
But now
I just remember being excited about going. I remember my mom's bedspread. I don't know why, but I was in her bedroom just expressing how excited I was to be going to school.
Oh, meh.
Yeah. Michelle Owen has redefined the first day of school photo with a creative twist that has captured hearts around the world. Instead of opting for the classic porch or doorway shot with a sign detailing the school year and teacher's name, Michelle brought a touch of whimsy to the tradition. Now, isn't that just cool as can be?
Precious.
All the superheroes are bidding him goodbye. That is just amazing.
That is really cute.
You got Soups and Spidey and
lots of Spidey, several...
And the Hulk
Iron
and
Man, you got Wolverine in there.
Yeah, actually, several of the same. But anyway, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the whole thing. So it's Zach's first day of school.
I like how the dog has its own little sign. That's cute. This is a mom who really enjoys.
Yeah. This is a creative person. In the viral video, Michelle arranged her son's superhero toys in cheerful displays that were bidding him farewell and cheering him on as he embarked on his school journey. The scene is framed perfectly as her son walks out the front door, leaving his superhero friends behind to start his day. Our little superhero started school, Michelle captioned the photo. The response has been overwhelmingly positive, with many praising the fresh, personalized approach.
Folks, he has indeed started drinking. The rest of the podcast will go quite swimmingly.
Swimming, just like my brain is going to be.
Swimming.
Swimming. Okay, a personalized approach to a cherished tradition. Blah. OMG, this is epic. What a picture, one user commented. Parenting at its best, another wrote. This unique photo not only stands out from the crowd, but also highlights the special moments and imaginative spirit that make childhood so special.
I want that sign, because I think that would work better than our whiteboard. I think you just walk by the whiteboard and don't even look at it anymore.
Right.
Because I put stuff on the whiteboard all the time, and you derp right by it. But
because it's just chores I got to do and stuff like that.
Not always.
Not always?
Not always.
I'll have to have a look. If you're ready to break away
from... No, it's just chores right now.
Darn it. If you're ready to break away from the traditional first day of school photo, why not take a page out of Michelle's book?
Yeah, it's really cute.
That is really cute. If I had a kid...
And
I would
someday,
want to do something like that.
You know what? I hope that when this kid graduates high school, this is the picture Mom pays to put in the back of the annual. Wouldn't that just be precious?
Well, it'd actually be better to have him come home as a full-grown adult to all these same superhero toys.
That would be so
greeting
cute.
Him. That would rock. Just hold on to him for 20 years, madam. You don't have to worry about it after that.
Good luck with that. And then sell them on eBay for a bajillion.
There you go.
Yeah, I think most of the toys created today aren't going to be worth anything later.
So, I'm a fan of a couple of things. I'm a fan of...
You're a fan of food.
I'm a fan of food.
And you like food. And if I know you as well as I think I do, I think you like food.
Yeah, food occurs to me. However, that's not where I was going.
Also a shirt available.
I love charcuterie.
Who doesn't, though?
And I am a
Seriously,
fan
who
of...
does not love charcuterie?
And I'm a fan of the Texas grocery chain, H-E-B.
Oh, me too.
And
that was one of the things when I first moved here I did not know about. Buc-ee's, I knew about. I did not know about H-E-B, and I'm telling you.
And they have a gourmet division called Central Market and a gourmet brand called Central Market that sells some of their products
really good stuff.
in the regular H-E-B stores. So this is a story of one of the locations in Austin. Hit it, Melanie Hope.
Hit it, Melanie Hope. Texas Market covers a charcuterie board with 1,032 pounds of snacks.
Oh my God! All that meat and cheese.
This is a party that Jim could get into. Yes, sir,
I
Bob.
would just
I hope there's
dive in
enough
the
people
middle of
there
that
to eat
point.
it. I hope. Central Market in Austin, Texas broke a Guinness World Record. We love our Guinness records by assembling a charcuterie board topped with over 1,032 pounds. Here I am, a math teacher, and I can't talk math. 1,032 pounds of meat, cheeses, and other qualifying ingredients.
In order for it to be a charcuterie, it has to
Okay,
be certain
apparently
things.
grapes are... No. Oh, those are olives. Okay, well, there's grapes, and then... What's that brown stuff? What is that?
That
Because meat, cheese, olives...
could be cranberry sauce. I don't know.
Now we need to look up qualifying ingredients for charcuterie.
Well, I don't want to go there.
The world's largest
necessarily.
charcuterie board was assembled to celebrate Central Market's 30th anniversary. The previous record was set by Florida snack delivery service Bordery, which was topped with 769 pounds. Wow, they kind of went above and beyond.
They went way overboard.
It was all cheesemongers on deck at the original Central Market in North Lamar in Austin as we cut, sliced, and arranged a cheese and charcuterie board of epic proportions, Central Market said on Facebook. Well, I want to know who got to eat it.
Well,
that's pretty.
There's a link to their Facebook post. Oh, it doesn't say anything else.
Let's see.
But it does show a video of them putting it together, which is
yeah,
kinda
we don't
cool.
need to see the video. Oh, whoa, nope, there it goes. There it goes. I'll tell you the
That is just way cool.
turn off the cover here.
I'm sure that they look at that crowd. I'm sure they must have.
Wow, that is a lot of charcuterie. Seriously though, who got to? Ooh, oh, they made it really pretty too, little ziggy zaggies.
Oh
Nice.
yeah,
Nicely
they
done.
did a fantastic job.
Yeah, we do love our
I mean,
charcuterie.
the photo doesn't do it justice. Watching the
Yeah.
video and seeing how they put it together and
Yeah,
just
it's really
have it
nice.
scanning the entire board is just amazing.
Where are the crackers?
Yeah, it's not charcuterie without crackers.
There's got to be crackers.
Got to be crackers.
That's a lot of green olives.
Yum. Yum yum.
They even got shirts made up. That's pretty cool.
I love charcuterie. That to me is a perfect lunch.
Yeah, I do kind of. I mean, I wouldn't. They might not 100% be charcuterie for the most part because I put other things on there. Like I think one time I did a combination of orange marmalade and cream cheese with a wheat thins type situation. So I don't know if that would count as charcuterie, but I do like.
It's all in the attitude.
It is an attitude thing because I make it
you
pretty.
can just throw a box of salami and Triscuits. I mean, that's which is fine. I love salami and Triscuits.
It's pretty though. It doesn't count unless it's pretty, and you're going to miss out on this. You're not going to get this anymore because you're not going to be working from home anymore. But working from home, I'll just come in while he's working, and if I get an oh my from him, I know I did good.
Well, I just have to wait till I get home or whatever.
No, because I'll be working when you get home. We're not going to see each other anymore. This podcast is going to be the only time that we ever actually see each other once you start working again.
Couples have managed for millennia to get through this.
Who knows? Maybe we'll get along better.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Come on. All right, this is from our friend.
Excuse me while I Kamala cackle.
Meh.
Anyway. As I was saying. Okay, this, see you. Lots of snacks.
Lots
of snacks. Well, it is time, ladies and gentlemen, to head on over into News of the Wicked. Let's start. Oh, everybody. Let's start with this. Now see, that's why we can't have nice things.
You know what's wrong with this recording?
What's wrong with this recording?
I only threw the baseball once. Why do you have to punish me week after week?
Because you're really bad. You throw like a girl, and you still manage to break every window in our neighbor's house.
Boy, you know what I'm going to do?
Considering
You know
we
what
were
I'm
in
going to
a-
do, Mary? I'm going to...
Considering we were in an apartment complex at the time, that
Yeah.
took talent.
Wasn't easy. Glad at least you acknowledged talent. That's
took,
that's
yeah,
important.
yeah. Not talent as a baseball player, but talent all the same. This next one is all yours.
Oh, boy. This is just a mystery to me. I mean, it's a real
Well, it's a mystery to them, too.
It's a pisser,
Apparently.
I'm telling you. This is from
Did you really say that out loud?
I did. This is from South Bend, Indiana. A mother said her daughter was exposed to a potential health hazard while smelling a candle at a local store. This all happened last Thursday at Dollar Tree on who cares where it is on near Ironwood Drive. It's an unthinkable act.
Agreed.
So let's not think about it.
Let's not think about it.
Adriana Shelton and her 9-year-old daughter Gray were at the Dollar Tree
She
on
named
South
her daughter
Bend.
Gray?
Yeah. It's a common name for hoity-toity pinky lifters who shop at Dollar Tree.
Sure, okay.
We're at the Dollar Tree on South Bend Avenue shopping for a gift for Gray's teacher when Gray reached for a candle on the shelf.
Seems to me that everywhere in the house, people would say, "Who made this mess?" And people would say, "Oh, it's a gray area." Maybe we need to rename you Gray.
Cute. All right. Har. The gray matter. Anyway. Gray reached for a candle on the shelf. We're smelling candles, and she picked up a candle to smell and tilted it back, and it literally, liquid went down her.
Oh,
First
my
we were
God.
like, maybe it's just water, which is reasonable. I don't know why it would be reasonable. But anyway, as we were just walking through the store, we got a foul smell, and Grace goes, "Mom, my T-shirt really stinks," said Shelton. That smell was urine sitting in the candle on the store shelf. Let me say that again. Not just because I mumbled last week. That smell was whiz. It was pee. It was Coors.
gross.
It was anyway. Appalled by the stain and smell on her daughter's shirts, Shelton went to a manager searching for answers.
Like, WTF?
And they said the store manager offered her a shirt as a replacement. They have been telling me this has been happening over a month and they're not able to catch the person doing it, and there's no cameras down the aisle where he's doing it. So the store employees, the manager, has asked corporate to put in cameras in those areas, and corporate just doesn't want to pay for those.
Did she just guess the gender of the offender? Ooh, I made a
That
rhyme.
rhymed.
I'm a gender offender.
Ooh. WSBT talked to the store manager on duty Monday. The manager said Dollar Tree has been in contact with police and are trying to find out who is urinating in the candles.
I know how to
It's
fix
just
this. This is easy.
Yeah.
Wire them. Like literally electric fence them. Go ahead, whiz on one of those babies. Don't whiz on the electric fence.
You idiot! Anyway, it's just a mess. They need to do better. They need to actually care, even
For
if it's not
realsies.
what they want to do. At least have a warning. Hey, be on the lookout because this is just unacceptable. It's disgustapating, said
Yeah.
Shelton. Shelton has filed a report with South Bend Police, and they're investigating. Which means nothing's going to happen. Shelton said she did take her daughter to urgent care. Unfortunately, she's going to be just fine.
Sure, she didn't go to urgent
I
care.
think a lawsuit's in order.
Oh,
If they're not willing to do anything about it,
billion
I think
percent
It's
a
time.
lawsuit,
It's time
yeah.
to call your local.
If they're
attorney
like,
and-
sucks to be you.
Want a new shirt?
We officially.
We have these ones with our logo on them. You can have one for free.
Well, I
It'll
mean-
advertise our store and clean you up at the same time.
There is that, but yeah, we'll offer you a shirt. Not a wet wipe or anything, but
Yeah.
Creepy.
An apology or a gift card to cover it.
Yeah.
And we're not going to do anything. We got to wait for freaking corporate to send candles, to send cameras. I mean, they already have candles, obviously.
Well, yeah, no. I will take a hard pass on the candles. Thank you very much.
And this is from
This is from our we
home-
say our
old
old
home
stomping
state.
grounds, but literally my home state. Is there nothing like cuter? I mean, just
There's nothing
more
cuter than otters.
adorable
They're just the cute.
than sea otters in particular. Well, river otters are cute too, but I mean, how cute are these things?
My old
Look at
nickname
them
was Scruffy, and I looked
little
like an otter back
face.
in the
They're
day.
so cute. There's just, I mean, is there anything more adorable?
No, they're the most adorable creatures on the planet outside of you and Frankie.
Oh, no. Okay, that's going a little bit far, but yeah. I mean, they are so... And do you know that the reason that they hold hands...
Mm-hmm.
I learned this when I worked at Rocky Shores, and we had sea otters there in Point Defiance in Tacoma, is so that they don't drift apart and lose each other.
That is really sweet.
So it's not because they're...
They're just such sweet animals. What could
Oh,
possibly
no,
go
no,
wrong?
no, honey. Otters are at the very top of the food chain. These things have been known to take out alligators.
So these adorable little creatures
Oh, yeah.
are cold-blooded killers.
They're badass.
All
Are
right,
you
well, let's
kidding
hear how
me?
badass they are.
These things are badass. Okay, so these cute little... they're just so cute. How adorable. It doesn't get any more adorable
They're
than
the cutest
that.
killers in the world.
Hey, now, I'm foreshadowing a little bit here.
Okay, just a little.
A young child is recovering after being dragged underwater and injured by a river otter at a marina. This is in Washington State. The child and her mother were walking down a dock on Thursday morning in Bremerton. I know this
Bremerton, we'll go out.
exact
Move to
marina. I have been there
Bremerton, we'll hang.
a billion times, and I probably know some of these otters. Anyways, the Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife said in a news release, neither the
Former
child
owners of my
nor
former Jeep.
their mother, so apparently we don't know if it's a boy or a girl child, so we're going to use collective pronouns, but whatever. They weren't identified. The otter pulled the child. I don't think it was this particular otter, but here's a picture of an otter. The otter pulled the child into the water and dragged them underwater. That's terrifying. And, okay, this is Washington State, where even if it's 90 degrees outside, which is very rare, but even if it's really, really warm outside, the water is still like glacier fed.
Yeah, it's really freaking cold.
The water rarely gets over 30 degrees.
Yeah,
it's really, really cold. So
you have to really want to cool off.
Yeah, this kid was not doing good. So thank goodness the kid is okay. After a few moments, the child resurfaced and the mother was able to act quickly and pull the child out of the water. While the mother rescued the child, the otter continued to attack. The child sustained scratches and bites to the top of the head, face, and legs, but only sustained minor injuries because of the mother's quick actions. I hope she had a baseball bat. Wow. The child was treated at an area hospital. Hopefully they got... can otters get rabies?
But
I would assume
wait,
that
there's more.
All warm-blooded critters can get rabies. As the pair fled down the dock, the otter pursued the family.
Yeah, get off my dock.
Get off my dock.
Yeah.
He was shaking his little otter
Yeah,
fist.
see?
I wonder what would provoke an otter? Because it seems to me that they would have to be provoked in some way. Or the kid just really smelled like fish. I don't know. Officers from the department have contacted the U.S. Department of Agriculture Wild Services to, quote, trap and lethally removed. In other words, kill.
Goodbye.
Kill.
Goodbye.
River otters from the marina. The animals will be evaluated and tested for rabies at the Washington Animal Disease Diagnostic Lab. I'm just going to fill in the blanks here. The dead animals will be tested to make sure they don't have rabies.
Right.
I pray that they don't, because this kid could be in big trouble if they do. I was just asking, can river otters get it? I don't know. Can they? Well, maybe. Apparently they can. River otters, which are common throughout the state, are territorial and, like any wildlife, are inherently unpredictable. Don't try to take in wild animals. People. Encounters between humans and river otters are rare, with just 6 documented incidents between the two species recorded in the state in the past decade. So really rare. River otter attacks can result in more severe injuries. A woman in Montana was airlifted to an area hospital after being attacked by a river otter in 2023. 2 other women also needed medical treatment. They also pose a threat to pets. In Florida, otters bit a man and a dog in separate incidents on the same day. So watch out for those otters.
Okay, coming up next week, Florida otter.
I guess so.
Wow.
Florida otter.
Here comes the Florida otter.
Okay. This is an interesting way of wording this.
think.
Hold
that
on a second, though.
Yeah.
I worked very hard on this stinger, so I demand the right.
You demand the right.
I demand the right to the stinger. Yes, yes, I do. If I can find it. Here we go.
This is not Barbara Walters. It is no longer 2020. But this is your new abnormal.
I do believe that we need to do buybacks, and I'll tell you why. So one, I'll tell you, when elected president, if the United States Congress continues to fail to have the courage to do something about this, I'm prepared to take executive action. And then this business about taking everyone's guns away. Tim Walz and I are both gun owners. We're not taking anybody's guns away, so stop with the continuous lying about this stuff. There's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking. So, yeah, and starting with what we can do on day one around public lands, right? And then there has to be legislation. But yes, and this is something I've taken on in California. I have a history of working on this issue. I made that very clear in 2020. I will not ban fracking. I have not banned fracking as Vice President of the United States, and in fact, I was the tie-breaking vote on the Inflation Reduction Act, which opened new leases for fracking.
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?
There is nothing that falls out of her face that isn't a lie.
Flippity flop.
Flippity, flippity, flippity,
flop.
flippity, yeah.
Flippity
Oh, that
flop.
isn't just flip-flopping, though. That's just flat out,
Pandering
unadulterated
to whatever audience.
lying.
It's lying
It
and
is
pandering.
lying.
And half of America is going to vote for her dumb butt. Anyway. Okay, I do not get this trend. I mean, there's a lot of stupid trends going on, from pod eating to God knows what, but this is dumb.
This one I don't get at all.
And I don't understand what the attraction would be.
Right, exactly. There's no attraction to me here at all. Other than you would have to be a complete and total NPC with not a thought going through your head, or else you couldn't stand it. This is like a psychological torture.
It's a long article. I'm not going to read the whole thing.
Okay,
but
well, I think that the headline pretty much says...
No films, no music, no sleep. Is raw dogging long flights heroic or foolish?
It's foolish.
I think it's foolish.
Well, I wouldn't
and
say
let me
foolish.
explain,
I would just say...
Without going into detail, because I'm tired of just reading about this stuff, but it is a new trend on airlines where passengers spend long hours midair just staring straight ahead.
Why?
You don't watch movies. You don't read books.
But
you don't
why?
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 The longer you do it, the tougher you have apparently proven yourself to be. No, the stupider.
That doesn't make you tough.
I mean, I'm sorry. I'm not. I mean, I'm either having a conversation with a person next to me, normally my wife, or I'm reading a book, or I'm watching one of the in-flight movies.
Or sleeping. That's what I do.
You
that
know,
way
I mean,
don't
or
have, that way I
a
don't
combination
suffer
of
jet
both.
lag.
Maybe I have a movie on and I have a book in my lap as I'm snoozing. It doesn't matter, but you do
that's
something.
That's just you on a normal day.
Shh. They don't need to know that.
Practically doing that
Some
now.
also avoid eating or drinking. A few say they won't get up at all even to use the toilet.
Why? I don't get it.
Because they're idiots.
This guy says a 13-and-a-half-hour flight is his personal best. That is
No, it's
not,
your personal worst. Is your
that
your
is not a, and
dimwit.
this guy here doesn't even look like a real human being.
No, that looks like a sim.
Just raw
He's
dog.
just staring straight ahead.
Okay, and raw dog is...
Why? So he just sits there staring at the map.
How do you make the connection between wearing a condom and not reading on a flight? I'm not seeing that either. And is it just me, or is this guy in first class?
It looks first class.
So you got...
Which would be even more reason not to do it.
Hello?
I'd be like, bring me some more food and
Yeah.
get me another drink or
Hashtag easy.
another ginger ale, because that's what I drink on
says-
flights is ginger ale.
Yeah, that's my official travel drink as well.
But Yeah, it's idiocy. I think
and he doesn't look well.
It's self-inflicted torture, and why the hell would you do that? Isn't there enough? Don't you have to like? I just can't. I just can't with these people.
Some medical experts warn of a significant health risk of taking long flights without food, water, or moving around. Well, yeah, that
First of all, you got a potential change in air pressure.
You've got all kinds of things going on. They're idiots.
And there's germs flying around.
A digital detox might do some good, but all the rest is against medical advice. Well, at the very least, read or draw.
I can't imagine just sitting still. I can't do that when I'm sitting at home or at work or whatever.
I can't even do that in church. I'm drawing or coloring or something.
It's true, and it's not because she doesn't care what's being said.
No, it's because I'm ADD.
It's her.
That's
mental
how I pay
process.
attention.
So, yeah, if I'm especially with the price of flights these days,
yeah,
I'm taking full advantage.
I want it all.
Whatever snacks they're giving me, whatever drinks they're giving me, whatever movies they're showing.
I want the whole can. I always ask for the whole can.
Yeah.
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 They have to give it to you too.
Ginger ale, folks.
They try to get away.
I almost never actually drink on flights. I always get like orange juice or coffee or ginger ale. I don't.
Really?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I fill my 2 ounces with those little travel alcohols.
Yeah.
I've been known to not take shampoo, but by golly, I've got vodka. I'm gonna Nancy Pelosi this flight. I'm sorry. I don't have to pick on Nancy anymore because she's not in power anymore. I'm going to Kamala Harris this flight.
I don't know about that.
The wheels on the bus go round and round.
All right. So.
Yeah. So I don't understand. They say it's a challenge, but I'm sorry.
But there's also cinnamon challenges,
this
ice water challenges.
Does not look mentally well.
First of all, what's with the hair?
Oh, yeah, what the heck is that?
And what's with the straight ahead stare? I mean, he looks
that's what he's challenging himself to do. And okay, who's the one more question? Who took this picture? Who took this picture? Because it's not a selfie. So somebody was in on it, and who took their shoes off? Ew. Either you get on the flight barefoot.
Wait a minute. You just said took their shoes off.
You? Well,
of
right,
all people?
because their feet, their sweaty, nasty, gross feet were in foot coffins through the entire airport, and then they take their shoes off on a flight. No, you start out barefoot or you don't do it at all. Yes, folks, I have flown the world over without shoes. You're welcome. And no, I have never once stuck my feet on top of a frickin' chair because that's just rude. But yeah, no, you look at that. You're wearing
Quack.
Yes, quack, I say, quack.
Quack, I say.
Quack, I say, quack. That is my phone. There actually is a story behind the quack that I don't think I've ever actually told.
Why don't you share with our audience?
I should tell folks what the story is behind my quack.
And then we will continue with the last couple of
And now I have to figure out who's. I know exactly who's quacking me because it's the only person who would quack me at this exact time.
Would it be somebody related to somebody I spoke with on the phone this morning?
Yes.
Yep. Okay.
Yep.
Yep.
Somebody who we all know is not listening to the podcast.
If she were,
she wouldn't be quacking.
She wouldn't be quacking us. All right.
Okay, the story behind the quack. I'm going to take off this crazy, scary-looking person. And those who know me very well know that I lost my mom to glioblastoma multiforme, which is a very aggressive brain tumor.
Nasty cancer. I mean, not that there's benign cancers or happy cancers.
Well, I mean, there are benign cancers, but yes, a very aggressive, fast-working cancer. We've lost quite a few people to that, big names and little names, and then, of course, loved ones.
John McCain being one of the bigger ones.
Yeah. Some people we care more about than others. So when I was, we have to go all the way back. So this relates to brain cancer, I promise. When phones that got text messages first came out, a lot of older folks, and my mom just barely skated under boomer. She was like a year away from being a boomer. So just not quite a boomer, just eked out of that. Xer, yeah. Not just 1 year away. So still could be considered she was actually pretty techie for her age. In fact, I would wager she was more techie than you are.
My dad was more techie than I was.
I think Fritzy's more techie than you are.
Look,
Max definitely is.
Just because I've got a thing for typewriters and film cameras and wired telephones and
vinyl and yeah,
doesn't mean that. Okay, I'm a Luddite.
Yeah, you're a Luddite.
Fritzy's more techie than me. Shame on you.
Hey, she just walked in and pressed her mouse a couple of times. So what can I say? I know
she
Max
likes mice.
is. She does like mice. She likes cheese better, but she does like mice. Anyways, way back then, I was visiting my mom, and I got a text. And my text went ding. And my mom and I were watching a movie together. Everybody else was gone, so we're just kind of hanging out, being, mom and kids. So we had wine and popcorn and the whole thing, and I got the ding. And my mom says, "Oh, you left something in the microwave." To which I replied, "No, I just got a text." Not knowing that my mom had no idea what a quote text was. Now, I had not made that connection yet. I learned. But I had not made that connection yet because, I was a product of my time, so I just assumed everybody knew what a text was, right? Yeah, well, not my mom. So I thought that explained the situation. We're watching the movie, eating popcorn, drinking wine, having a good old time. Ding! Look, if you don't get the thing out of the microwave, it's going to keep dinging until you do. Mom, it's not the microwave. It's my phone. I'm getting a text. Go back to watching the movie. Ding! Fine. If you're not going to get it out of the microwave, I'll go get it myself. Stomp, stomp, stomp. So me being the, petulant child that I am, I thought, okay, what I'm going to do is change this tone to something that she cannot possibly relate to the microwave. And, got on the internet and found a duck quack, which I thought was hilarious at the time. So every time I got a text, it would go whack, which some of you may have just heard because for some reason my phone is in the room and shouldn't be. Because usually I don't even bring the phone in the room or I turn it off. Well, fast forward many years, and I am sitting in the hospital with my mother after her diagnosis, and I'm sitting in the window of, I believe it was Swedish in downtown Seattle, and sending the text.
One of the best hospitals in the country. She was lucky to be there.
Yeah, so was Lexi. And sending texts out to the entire family, letting them know, what we learned and what's going on. Mom had actually, when they realized what was going on with her, because it was a vision issue, and then after the eye doctor said there's nothing wrong with your vision, they went straight into, doing a scan and saw the tumor and literally took her into surgery like immediately. We didn't even get to plan or nothing, just like boom, took her in, popped her head open like just popped it open and scooped as much as they could out with a melon baller and, stitched her up and everything. And so she's laying there
Wrapped
all
her like a pear.
Yeah, an Asian pear, like they used to wrap them up with the fluffy stuff around it. So she's laying there kind of in and out. And, I'm texting the entire family, letting them know what's going on. And we have family all over the state.
This was just before she met me.
Yeah, literally like days before I met him. Still don't know what you saw me because I was a mess.
I still don't. It's still a mess.
No, it wasn't even days. It was the day before. Because I had been in the hospital with Mom for 2 days, and I hadn't been home, showered, brushed my teeth, nothing. And I literally met you that.
No, God told me
the night I brought you.
It's time to go out here and meet this woman.
I don't know what that was about. Anyways,
a joke.
Yeah, there's a whole story behind that. Anyways, every time somebody would reply, my phone would quack, and my mom would go, I mean, even though she was kind of in and out and everything. So I vowed to myself after we lost her, which, wasn't much longer after that, that my phone would always quack. And it's been well over 10 years.
Yeah.
And I've been through many, many phones since then. And I remember the one phone. At least 5
or 6.
Yeah, I remember the one phone that didn't use WAV files. And because I would just copy over the WAV file of the duck quack.
It's been the same quack.
Yeah, it's literally, it has to be that quack. And I remember this one phone for its messaging and whatnot, it would only use MP3s, and I didn't know how to convert back then. I didn't have any of that software. Now I do. Now it's like nothing. But when I tried to install the WAV file and it's like, oh, you can't use this on this phone. I'm literally calling the phone service. I don't understand. Yeah, it was pretty bad. So that is when I started learning. That's actually what started down the path of this podcast, is learning how to do audio editing and convert files and all of that. And once I got into all of that,
she does a lot of that for
and now I do it all the time. It's no big deal.
Day,
Video, audio, cha. So that's what started that. So if you ever hear the quack in the background, think of Evangeline Stratton, my mommy. Multiple books still on Amazon to this day.
I liked her a lot.
She really did.
I thought she was a bit of a kook, but I loved her.
Well, I mean, you didn't get to meet her until after the brain cancer, but literally, that's a whole other story that I think we have actually told on this program with Lexi, who also is a dearly departed friend to another type of cancer.
Cancer stinks. So, yeah, just a brief thing. In October, I will be participating in and I guess Melanie just volunteered as well. It's a fundraiser for the American Cancer Society where you take a photo a day and post it on your, post it with a link to the fundraising. So I will put that on our Facebook page. Not on our Facebook page, on our
Insta.
Yeah.
It'll be on Insta, on Twitter, on our Facebook page.
I'm actually taking a break from Facebook. He's taking a break from...
Oh, tell them how you left Facebook, if you want to share.
For those of you who aren't on Facebook, which is most of you listening to me, I just posted the following. There's a strange noise outside and a bright light that's driving my dog nuts. I'm going to go investigate. I'll be back in a minute.
I know, he's not going to be back.
I'm not going to be on until the beginning of October. Don't tell anybody that.
And at the end of it, so we're going to be doing the photo thing, and then October 31st at midnight, we will participate in NaNoWriMo.
Despite all the silliness going on at the corporate level, because they're a bunch of ding-dongs, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Oh, yeah, that's right. There is some stuff going on there.
There's always some stuff going on.
Too bad. Too bad.
Too bad for them, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Too bad. All right. Well, let's get back into this.
One more of the...
Abnormal. Okay, so Trump talked about the dogs and the cats, which is kind of...
There's Florida horse.
Yeah, and now it's horses too, so I'll let you read this one.
Really? Okay.
It's all yours.
Police are investigating after multiple horses that were stolen were found slaughtered in southwest Miami-Dade Friday.
Oh, my Lord.
The horses were found in a rural area near Southwest 124th Avenue and Southwest 197th. I don't know why I do that.
Why do you do that? Skip it.
After they'd been stolen from a farm.
Skip to the end.
Skip to the end.
Knowledge. Knowledge is what brings us together.
After they'd been stolen from a farm overnight, the police said aerial footage from Chopper 6,
which we will not be sharing, as you can see.
Showed the remains of 3 horses. We ain't doing that. Off a trail in a grassy area, one horse named Paloma had been a therapy horse. That's just wrong.
That is just
27 and a half levels. Visited schools to help kids and others deal with mental health issues. We talked about that last week with them helping veterans with PTSD and all of that kind of thing.
Absolutely.
So when something like this happens, it brings back all those memories from all those kids who were able to enjoy the animals. The Paloma's owner, David Yepes. We were able to improve some of their lives because of it. Police said they believe the horses were taken to the area where they're slaughtered and then harvested for their meat. Come on, guys.
This is the United States of America.
This is the United States in 2024. We don't need to kill horses for meat anymore, okay? Not even for dog food. Just put soy in it instead. It's not safe for human consumption simply because of the fact the medication they give the horses in order to remain healthy and the substance they have to ingest to remain healthy throughout. Their lives are not human consumption. Durr.
Yeah.
I mean, meat in general is not really all that healthy because of all the stuff they put in
nowadays,
our cattle. It's just not safe.
I usually say I don't wish ill on people, but I hope these people get so sick that they have to get medical treatment and they out themselves. That is what I hope for these people.
And now on to brighter and prettier.
Shall we?
Yes. By all means.
Oh
my God, yes.
Would that we had a more gentle and kind world. Oh, wait.
We do.
Wait. Maybe, just maybe, we might. Here on CounterCultureWISE, we may rant, we may rave, but most of all, we go against the current culture because we believe, to the core of our beings, that humans are good and the world is an amazing and beautiful place. At the beginning of our show, we give you news of the weird and wonderful, but that is just the tip of the magnificent iceberg that is our world. We now present news of the wonderfuller. I love that dog so much because it reminds me of Isabu, a dog I had and shared with friends, and then they kept her because they loved her so much. She was a great dog. Alrighty, as folks know, the drill is that Jim picks a story that he's pretty darn sure is going to make me cry.
No, this one won't make you cry.
And the understanding is that I don't read the story beforehand to see, can Jim make Melanie cry?
No, that's not the case. This time I just thought it was a nice story.
Waka, waka, waka. Okay, so this is not a make Melanie cry story.
It's not make Melanie cry story.
Okie dokie. So we'll start with the picture, and then we'll figure out what we're going to talk about today. A local scout was volunteering at a local food pantry with his family when he noticed that the nonprofit could use new furnishing. So Simon Starnes, 14, a life scout with Boy Scout Troop 21, decided to build new furniture for Sister BJ's. Sorry, I just thought that was a new nickname for Kamala Harris there for a second. Pantry himself. As part of his Eagle Scout project, Starnes and several of his troop members built 4 new picnic tables for the pantry. And those are really nice.
They're nice.
Very well done picnic tables, which offers free weekend meals to people in the downtown Oklahoma City area experiencing homelessness. I went to volunteer there for the Sunday mission, which is making breakfast for the homeless and then handing it out to them. But as I was doing it, I saw the tables were in bad shape and a lot of them were warped and splintering. He said he knew that going to the pantry for breakfast was a special part of the week for pantry visitors, and he wanted to enhance their experience with new tables and seating. I kind of wanted to help fix that. I thought that if I built those tables, it could definitely help make the experience a lot better for them. Part of the feeding, providing meals, because you can go to the food pantry and get food and, go home or run to the bridge or 10 or whatever and try to cook it. But when a church or a community organization actually makes a meal, that you actually have to sit down and have this communal experience, there's just something that just humanizes you.
It is absolutely, well, yeah, I think one of the things that plagues us as human beings, and I'm just as guilty of this as anybody, in order to make a political point or to win something, sometimes you tend to dehumanize people, and the homeless are dehumanized big time.
They not only are they dehumanized by society at large, but even to themselves.
Mm-hmm. And when I have served at, and I'm not doing this to, I'm not saying this at all to my own horn. I'm a schmuck, okay? But when you go to these places and you're preparing the food and you're serving it to these people who,
and you eat with them,
you're breaking bread with them. It's no longer an us and them thing.
Right.
It's an us thing.
Right.
Because,
and that's when you get.
I'm not going to lie. I've been homeless. I've been broke. I've been like all this horrible stuff, and there were always people who were there for me. And sorry.
Just a big bad Marine getting.
Big man Marine getting. Oh, what's the word?
Lachrymose.
Verklempt.
Talk amongst yourselves.
It's one of the reasons because I've had numerous job offers over the last few weeks. That's why I'm going to the Health and Human Services. I know that there are people who take advantage of these things, but I think that I can be of a help to people. That's why I'm choosing to go there. Okay. We'll see what happens with other potentials, but that's where I'm leaning right now. But it tends to rehumanize these people.
Yeah.
I mean, it's same thing with war. I mean, it's easy to think of the enemy as the enemy if you don't think, Abdul has a family and friends they're feeding, and they just go to work in the morning and they just want to earn a living, and have a decent life like the rest of us.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I don't want to get too deep into that, but you all get what I'm saying.
Well, and that's the thing is war forces you to do that, because if you actually think about the people you're shooting at as human beings, you would lose your mind.
And probably your life, because they would be shooting at you too.
Right, because they can't.
Because they're not seeing, they're dehumanizing you too.
Right.
It's like the worst thing you can do. But on the other hand, sometimes just for your emotional and mental well health, you kind of need to kind of pull back from that.
Well, right.
So,
well, I mean, if we all did that, there wouldn't be war.
Ugh.
Not to go all John Lennon on you, but, you know, it's just true.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
and that's why it frustrates me so much when the supposed tolerant left say that we shouldn't humanize, you know, certain political candidates. It's like, what kind of just absolute trash talk is that?
To be fair, though, I mean, you know, the right makes fun of and dehumanizes.
Okay, there's a big. I have never dehumanized certain people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Biden.
I have.
It's
not fun.
He is. The thing that upsets me so much about him is he has always been an unabashed liar.
Mm-hmm.
He is a horrible human being. I'm not going to dehumanize him. He's just an awful garbage human being and always has been.
Mm-hmm.
Kamala falls right in there. I'm not going to say she's not human, though.
Well, yeah.
You know?
I don't want to get too far. I already got way too far out of what we were talking about.
And I guess that's a little bit when you... And I wish I had downloaded the video. It was hilarious of when they all went to 9/11. And, you know, here's Kamala and even Hillary treating Trump like he's Satan incarnate, literally calling him Hitler. And yet here they are in a room together for this commemorative, you know, thing. It's like, if he's literally Hitler, why are you even sharing oxygen with him? You don't mean any of that. You don't believe any of that. It's just a bunch of garbage.
Right.
And you would think that people who saw them all in the same room together would be like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You know, you didn't see Churchill sitting at the same table as Hitler, you know, to commemorate a fire chief's birthday or something. That didn't happen.
Right.
These people, it's
a sin to do this. We all do it to a greater or lesser extent.
Yeah.
But
But what I did think was funny, though, is that when Kamala and Biden walked into the firehouse, it was like, oh, look, the president's here, blah, blah, and they're milling around and talking. And then when Trump walked in, it's like, what? They're all clapping. And
look, I know who wins the popularity contest in November, but I don't know who wins the election in November.
Well, we already know who's being installed.
Anyway,
getting back to this
story.
wonderful story. I kind of wanted to help fix that. I thought if I built those tables, it could definitely make the experience a lot better for them. Sister Barbara Joseph Foley, widely known as Sister BJ, said she seriously
move forward, Melanie.
Sweetheart Pookie. Somebody needs to sit her down.
She's a nun. Let's just
Somebody
roll with
needs
it,
to sit her down and explain this to her, though. Said she was excited when Simon told her he planned to build the tables. Foley said the original picnic tables located in the outdoor garden of the pantry were a favorite of the homeless who frequented the pantry. There, sitting at the table, they sip on cups of coffee and food provided by the pantry on Friday and Sunday mornings. Foley said the tables make it easy for her and the ministry's volunteers to sit with the people, as we were just saying, and serve, to find out more about them and offer them comfort and hope. Absolutely, that's how it's done. Foley, a Carmelite sister of St. Therese of the Infant Jesus in Oklahoma City. I love how they always name their churches with 65,000 names.
But hey,
opened the pantry in 2006 when she realized that shelters in the downtown area were not offering free meals for people experiencing homelessness on weekend. Why do we have to say people experiencing homelessness?
I don't know. Why don't they just say the homeless people?
It means exactly the same dang thing.
Because I guess it just makes it sound like they're not as responsible for homelessness. I don't know.
No, it's just homeless people. It's more succinct to the point. It means exactly the same thing. Putting a bunch of superfluous words in there doesn't change the situation. And also the way it reads it, people experiencing homelessness on the weekends. The rest of the week they have homes.
Yeah, well,
so lucky for them.
Yeah.
These are only the ones who experience it on the weekends. It's so stupid. She said that was before some of the meal programs and homeless service providers were around, like the Homeless Alliance's day shelter. I started the pantry so I could hopefully develop a more relational ministry to the homeless. That's the main reason, she said. I started it because in our Catholic faith, we have the works of mercy, which come out of Matthew's gospel.
Oh,
that
that's
reminds me, before we started our podcast, I was part of a networking group, and we would have speakers come in, and one of the speakers that came in was the author of Breakfast at Sally's. And which is about
a former executive becoming homeless.
Yeah, and his experience and having to go.
We should have him on the show.
That's why I was it just hit me. I've still got his book. I've met him in Purpose.
If he's still around, let's have him on the show.
We should find out because it was a impactful book.
A moving story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Foley said another scout working toward his Eagle Scout rank built the pantry's original picnic tables. Oh, that's so cute. So he's kind of carrying on the tradition. And yet another helped beautify the garden surrounding the tables by planting flowers and foliage. Simon, an Edmond Memorial High School student,
in Oklahoma, by the way, Edmond, Oklahoma,
said that he had never built tables before. Really? Because he did a really good job. But he reached out to the Eagle Scout who made the pantry's first tables to get instructions. He said he wanted the new tables to be just like their older counterparts. That is just the sweetest thing.
You can see the photo there. The color's different, but
he just needs to stain them.
Yeah, he just needs to stain them, but they are the same exact design. It's like the same person made all of them. It's that close.
Simon said the project took him and his helpers about 13 hours. That was pretty quick.
That's not bad, actually.
Those who helped included his father and fellow troop members, and they list all the names. He said his dad said he and his wife had known Sister BJ since they were in her youth group at St. John Baptist Church in Edmond. He said he was proud of the project completed by his son and some of his friends in Troop 21, which is affiliated with St. John the Baptist Church. Now, see, that's a reasonably named church. St. John, the extra super barefoot guy wearing a hood, waving his two fingers in the air, Baptist Church. I mean, that's how... I swear that's how Catholics' names.
Oak Grove Baptist Church. It's just
great. Now you just outed us. So not only do they know where we live, but they know what church we go to.
Oh no, there are about 5 billion churches in our state alone called Oak Grove.
Yeah, but you've already told them what city we live in, so that's narrowing it. So all I'm saying, Oak Grove, is if anybody shoots up the joint, it's all Jim's fault. Not that 40.
No. You don't understand.
60
a bunch
to 70%
of Christians.
Of us
90%
in Texas
they're going to be armed. Nobody's going to mess with that.
Well,
in Texas.
We'll see. They did though, if you recall.
Yeah.
Foley said she was grateful for the support, and then it goes on. Really sweet story.
Really great story.
Really sweet. And this, folks, is how you do it. You see a need. You feel the need.
That's doing God's work.
And
that is.
Yeah. So God bless each and every one of these sweet, sweet boys and every single patron of this particular establishment.
That's really cool.
Because Lord knows we see you and we love you. Oh my goodness, I cannot believe it, but we are at the end of another show.
We doed it.
We doed it good.
I think so.
Folks, we love you. Thank you so much for being here with us. And we will see you next week.
CounterCultureWISE is a Stormcat production.
Thank you for joining our growing family of listeners. All links from the show are available on our website, CounterCultureWISE.com. Find our archives on any of your favorite podcast hosts.
We engage in satire, commentary, and generally laugh at the ridiculousness of our crumbling society. Our only medical or financial advice is to not follow any financial or medical advice given by podcasters.
Our animations, interviews, Holy Crap segment, and other videos are put out on BitChute and Rumble, and only in part on YouTube because they hate free speech.
Our show is entirely funded by listeners like you. Visit our ever-expanding merch store or our Subscribe Star, where you can get outtakes, extra videos, and sneak peeks.
If you would like to be a guest on our program, feel free to contact us via our website. Just click on the link at the top that says, "Be a guest on our show."
For more fun and cat pics, please visit our Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. For complaints about our show, please fill out the ID10T form on our website, and we will give it the attention it deserves.
Meanwhile, no matter how cruel the world may be around you, always remember the importance of kindness. Be kind to each other, be kind to animals, and be kind to yourself. See you next week.